stopping by my channel. My name is Cole, aka Transpirit Indigo. I'm a soul having a transgender human experience and a spiritual awakening. I appreciate you coming by and checking out my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and it will let you know every time that I make a new video. Let's get into it, huh? I made a video months and months ago about some of my experiences with drug addiction, alcohol and opiate addiction, to be specific. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll go ahead and post the link up here later, and that way you can see it. But for now, I'll just give you my experience in a nutshell quickly here. I'm 35 at this point in time, in the now, and I have not drank any alcohol for almost 8 years. I'll have 8 years sober from alcohol next month on August 13th. I drank for about 8 years straight. So this whole experience has been almost 16 years in the running. I've learned a lot, and I will also tell you that it is possible to stop drinking or using drugs. Even if you're watching this and you just don't believe you can do it, I promise you from my heart, from the depths of my soul, it is possible for anyone to quit drinking and using drugs. I say this in particularly because there were so many times during my 8 years of drinking that I did not believe that I could stop. I was stuck in a loop, stuck in patterns. And in my 8 years, I attempted to quit more times than I can count. Many relapses, inpatient rehab, outpatient rehab, AA meetings, so many attempts. And I fall down again. And I get back up, and I fall down again. And I'd like people to know out there that may be new to this or experiencing this, that it's very normal to relapse. I'm not encouraging relapse by any means, but I want people to know that if they do relapse, to not give up, to keep moving forward with it, and to do whatever you can to get sober, because life is not boring. In that state of mind where you're using all the time, you think that life without the drug or the alcohol would just be incredibly boring. But it's not. It's truly not. In fact, for me, life has been so much better. And yeah, there are parts that I miss here and there. There are moments when I partied that I had a lot of fun, and especially if I'm struggling and stressed out, I do miss those times to a certain extent. Not enough to go back. But there are times where I miss just completely not being aware of anything. When we get sad, it's like a lot of times people drink or use drugs because they don't want to deal with the problems at hand. They don't want to feel the pain. They don't want to do that. And, but everyone drinks for different reasons. For me, I was attempting to drink my pain away, and that was wrapped up with me being transgender. I found out what transgender meant in 2004. And a friend had told me to look up the term because she thought that that might be me, that I might be transgender. And it turns out that I am transgender. For so many years, I knew that I liked women as a biological woman, but I didn't feel like I was supposed to be a biological woman. So I never identified with being a lesbian. And now I know why. Because lesbians usually, I'm sure there are cases and there's gray areas everywhere, but usually lesbians identify with being a female themselves. Like they feel like a female, they're okay with it. That's a huge difference. When you're transgender, you don't feel like the biological body that you're in is correct with how you feel on the inside, mentally, emotionally, everything. So, I drank. I drank and I drank and I drank, and it didn't help anything. It didn't help me overall. I thought it was helping me in the midst of doing it because it was temporarily taking away the pain. But when it took away the pain, it caused more pain because I would drink so heavily that I would not know what's going on. I would black out, as they say. I would not be aware of anything. It'd be like zombie mode. And that's where it gets very dangerous. You could hurt someone, yourself, You say things that you wouldn't normally say. It's just on a spiritual level, it's like a dark entity pretty much driving your body around like as a car, like for a joyride. You're just doing a lot of times terrible things that you would never do. And that was my personal experience. Now everybody's experience is different, especially with drugs and alcohol, because we're talking chemicals here and the way that they work with your brain and body, and everybody's body and brain are different. Body weight comes into play when it comes to drugs and drinking and all sorts of stuff. So that was my experience. It was all pretty bad. There were some fun times I had drinking, but not enough to justify me drinking alcohol. I'm one of those, I guess you'd call it an extreme case, to where I don't drink any alcohol. I don't even eat desserts that have liqueur in them. I don't like to taste the alcohol. I personally drank a lot of liquor. So when I can taste a liqueur in a dessert, it's like death to me. I don't, it's a trigger, and it doesn't taste good to me. I did not drink beer and liquor for the taste. I drank it to get drunk. I drank it to escape, to feel good, to instantly like have a buzzed, happy feeling. But it was an illusion. The happy feeling is an illusion. It's an illusion in a sense where I'm not actually happy. I'm having to drink this drink that actually is poisoning my brain to make myself think I'm happy. That's the illusion I'm talking about. Like, sure, you have a few beers, you're happy, you stop. If you can handle that, that's great. I can't. I can't have a few beers and just stop. I can't get that happy buzz feeling and just be like, okay, I'm good. That's what makes me an alcoholic, is that if I have a few beers and let loose, I'm going to keep going until I black out. And I've tried to prove myself wrong hundreds of times, and it never worked any other way. So I'm very grateful to say that I rose to the occasion after almost a decade of sabotaging myself like this through the alcohol. And I decided to do whatever I could to stop with the drinking. And I was going to share with you how I stopped and how that helped me. This is pretty much a shorter version of the video I did a while back. I'm getting more to the meat and potatoes of it, what I did to quit drinking, and have now been sober from alcohol for 8 years. Okay, I'm going to be real with you all. First off, I want to say I am not a religious person. I grew up in a religion, but I am no longer religious. I do believe in God, in a God. I believe in angels and ascended masters and spirit guides, everything esoterically involved, everything spiritual. I believe in light. I believe in love. With all of that being said, what helped me to stop drinking to the point I was hurting myself and ruining my life was to indeed give my life and myself up to something greater than me. And that's something they'll tell you in AA. Now, I'm no longer in AA. It's hard to say AA. I'm no longer in that program. And but that's just me. Everybody's different. Some people continue to stay in the program. I mean, the program, I'm pretty sure, tells you to never leave the program. So I broke the rules, but that's what I do. I'm an Indigo adult. I was an Indigo child. Like, Indigo children break rules. We're all about bending the system here. But whatever works for you, what keeps you sober, what keeps you in a healthy state of mind, what helps you to contribute to society and the world in a positive way, if you can do that in a healthy way, then do it. Even if someone tells you, no, it can't be done any other way but that way, don't listen to anyone else but your own heart space and your own gut. Because what's right for them might not be right for you. So I was in the program for a little bit after quitting, but overall it was, for me, that helped me to quit. That moment that I actually decided I was just going to do it and I wasn't going to pick up another drink for the rest of my lifetime. In that moment, it was after a binge of liquor and blacking out and really bad things happening. That next morning, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to hurt myself anymore. It's like I felt this self-love pour in that I hadn't felt for as long as I could remember. And I asked God, God, please help me. I asked the archangels to watch over me, to help me to quit drinking. There was actually even a specific saint that I prayed to. I usually don't pray to saints, and like I'm not religious, but I did grow up Catholic, so my dad had actually taken me to what's called the Relic of the Saints. It's a display, and we went, and I was actively drinking when I went to this event, Relic of the Saints. And I don't remember what saint it was, but it was a saint having to do specifically with people with alcohol issues. And I stood there in front of whatever monument was made for that saint, and I prayed. And I prayed to it, and I just asked, again, something greater and bigger than me, God, for help. And it was a few weeks after I went to that event with my dad that I had that huge binge of drinking. And when I woke up from the binge, it was like all that praying I had done, something heard me. And my whole being was just filled with like light. I felt light pour in through my kitchen window. And I just felt this overall sense of peace. And it was like, I didn't hear a voice or anything, but it was like something was telling me in my intuition that I didn't have to drink anymore, that it was over, that I didn't have to listen to those demons anymore. Like I was protected, I was loved, I was cared for, and I didn't have to live that way anymore. I'm beyond grateful for it because my life was going nowhere fast. I was unhappy. I was severely overweight. I was in a very abusive relationship. And I was abusive to myself. So it was affecting every aspect of my life. My drinking was. It was affecting my music career. Everything in a negative way. So when I asked for help, help actually came. I feel like in the years prior, when I kept falling flat on my face, I feel like I would ask for help, but it was half-ass. It was like I didn't really mean it. But I never took a spiritual approach until then. I just kept falling the victim, thinking, I can't do this, it's too hard. I don't want to live life without alcohol. I like my party scene, I like my friends, I like this, I like that, I just want to keep drinking. But the more I kept doing that, the more I kept destroying my life. DWI, cars, crashed, just losing respect to my family and my friends. And so, yeah, it just got to the point where I asked for divine intervention and help, and I received it. And it sounds so simple, and it was not simple. It was almost a decade of struggle, but it took me almost 8 years to really ask God and a higher power and belief in the angels for help. But I'm glad I did. I mean, it gets to the point where it doesn't matter it took that long. It's a matter of the fact that I did it, that I asked for help. And thank God I did, because now I'm sitting here talking to you. I don't know if I would be otherwise. I don't know if I'd still be here on this planet alive, because I was developing some really terrible health issues. And it was cigarettes too. I smoked cigarettes while I drank. I haven't smoked a cigarette in almost 4 years. I feel incredibly better. And I'm going to end this video the way I started it. You can quit. I thought that I would never quit cigarettes or drinking alcohol. I couldn't imagine myself in a different life for the longest time. But bad stuff kept happening. All those just bad feelings and just knowing bad stuff was going to happen. Later on, I realized that I have so much more control over my life than I thought. I used to think things just happened to us. No. We align ourselves with situations, with people. If you're thinking negatively about yourself, if you're not practicing self-love, if you're hurting yourself, if you're trying to escape, you can't escape. You have to work through your problems. And the angels and God can help you to work through your problems. You can connect with God even if you're not a religious person. Like I said, I am not a religious person. I think all religions have their place. Everyone should be free to practice what they feel close in their heart. But you can quit abusing drugs and alcohol. It's a possibility. You can live a life that is worth living, that you want to get up and enjoy, and you want to achieve your goals. It's possible. I'm sending light and love to you all out there, especially anyone watching this who's struggling with that. It's one of the most difficult things I've ever faced in my life. And come to think about it, I think my 8-year stint with abusing alcohol, especially liquor, I think that was more scary than realizing I was transgender, which was scary enough all in itself. And it was scary because I say being transgender was scary, finding that out because I didn't know what to do about it. And it took me almost 20 years to figure out that I didn't have to do anything about it. I could just be transgender. It didn't have to be a problem. It's just who I am. And I'm proud of that now. And you can get to a place of peace with yourself, with everything. It's not always an easy ride. Spirituality isn't all about being happy all the time. Spirituality can be tough. It can be doing that shadow work, and because again, it's about working through, not avoiding things. The more you try to avoid things and get away, they're going to come right back even harder because you're avoiding them. The more we resist things, the more things persist. So it's best to deal with them. I know, easier said than done. But you know what? We're all here for each other. We're all here to support. I'd like to develop a supportive, loving community via this channel. And again, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you everyone for your love and support. It means the absolute world to me. I love sharing my experiences with you all. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you in a few days. Much love.